Hey, what's going on everybody? It's ETAPRIME back here again. Today we're going to be taking a look at the all-new Keychron K1 Max low-profile wireless mechanical keyboard. A few months ago, I finally got my hands on my first Keychron keyboard, and it just happened to be the Q1 Max. I did a video on it, and since then, it's actually been my go-to keyboard for my main gaming PC, but it's a bit of a thick boy. All metal design, hot swappable switches, and we can even use custom firmware on these keyboards. And personally, I can't live without a wireless keyboard anymore. It's just something that kind of goes through my head when I got a bunch of wires on my desk. Luckily, these keyboards do support Bluetooth and 2.4 gigahertz technology, utilizing one of the dongles that comes along with these. And straight from the factory, you can actually choose which switches you want. I opted for the Keychron Red Low Profile 2.0 mechanical switches with this. Actually love the sound and the feel. We'll definitely take a listen to it in just a bit. But inside of the box, what we're going to get here is a USB Type-C cable, because all of these can be used as a wired keyboard if you want. 2.4 gigahertz dongle, plus we've got a couple extra keycaps here, and I do like that orange enter key. We've also got our key puller and switch puller that comes along with the hot swappable versions, and it looks like they also include a Type A to Type C USB adapter in the box. As you might know, a lot of these companies are definitely jumping on the bandwagon when it comes to these low-profile mechanical keyboards, and I'm kind of glad to see this. I love these low-profile keyboards. As you can see, this thing is really thin, and when it comes down to it, this actually supports Windows, Android, iOS, and Mac. The extra keycaps that come along with this actually allow us to swap out the Windows keys here for Mac keys like the Command key, so if you did want to use this with your MacBook or iMac, it'll go right along with that scheme. The Keychron Low Profile 2.0 red switches that I opted to use here are linear switches. They've got a travel distance of up to 3 millimeters. Sound level is low on the reds, and I kind of wanted to keep it that way. We've still got some pretty good sound coming out of them. But keep in mind, you could swap these out for low profile brown, blue, or even banana switches. We do have the swing out adjustable feet on the bottom of this, but maximum thickness on this keyboard when it's sitting with those feet closed is 22 millimeters at the very back, and only 17 at the front, and this is from table to top of keycap. And just comparing it to that Q1 Max, you can see this is a very, very low profile keyboard. Around the back, we do have two different switches plus USB Type-C. And taking a closer look at those switches, on the left-hand side, we've got our mode switch. G is going to be 2.4 gigahertz. Obviously, we've got the middle for cable, so we can go with a wired connection. And it also supports Bluetooth, plus we've got our Windows and Android switch, or Mac and iOS. Around back, there's not much going on, but we do have our dual mode adjustable feet, so it'll make it really easy to kind of set it up exactly how you want on the desk. And if you haven't noticed by now, this is an 80% keyboard, so we've got 87 keys here. It's backlit RGB with 22 types of RGB backlight options out of the box. But remember, you can always install custom firmware on this keyboard. You can even create your own using software known as QMK. This works for Mac or Windows, stands for Quantum Mechanical Keyboard. Basically, it'll allow us to customize every single aspect of this keyboard. You could download pre-made firmware if you wanted to, or you could go through and customize the firmware yourself and have a totally custom experience. But when it comes to the look of the new K1 Max, I'm really digging it. I like those light and dark grays against that black chassis, and especially with those orange accents. One thing they did send along with this was an orange enter key, which is something I'm probably going to install. And since this is a wireless keyboard, we do have a rechargeable 2000 mAh battery, wireless working time with the backlight off up to 166 hours, and wireless working time with RGB on at the lowest setting, 86 hours. So yeah, we can get some really great runtime out of this keyboard also. The next thing I wanted to show off were these switches. We can go ahead and pull these caps off, and you can swap these out with other low-profile caps if you wanted to. Again, we've got those Keychron 2.0 low-profile red switches. These do put off a little less sound than the browns they offer over on their website. If you want that really clackety clack clack, go with the blue low profile Keychron switches. They sound great if you want that louder key press. Fully controllable RGB, obviously built into the board itself. And since we don't have see-through caps here or transparent caps, there's no hot spots. It actually puts out some really good light around the keys themselves. And I'll just give you a closer look here at that Keychron 2.0 red switch. Dual prong design, these are linear switches. And just to give you a look at that RGB, we can take the brightness down by holding function and pressing S. We can take it all the way back up with function and W, and we can swap this out completely by pressing function and Q. 22 different presets here. So you're bound to find something that you like. Personally, I kind of just like the first rainbow effect, it just kind of goes right across. You can set this up as a static color if you wanted to also. We can change that with another key combination. I'm just going through the presets right now to show you what we've got going on here. Pretty nice little setup, actually. Now I know everybody wants to hear how these keys sound, so let's go ahead and move over now. So for the past few days, I've been solely using the K1 Pro with my main gaming desktop, and I personally use it wireless. I've got it connected using the 2.4 gigahertz dongle, and I actually love this keyboard. Super thin, coming in with a maximum thickness from table to top of the keycap, 22 millimeters at the back, 17 at the front, so it's definitely a thin keyboard. Awesome RGB backlight selection right out of the box, and I do like the red switch sounds. Some people might want something that's a bit louder, but I kind of think this has a really good little mid-tone to it. So to recap, this does support custom firmware using QMK, super slim design, Bluetooth, 2.4 and wired connectivity. It supports Mac OS, Windows, Android, and iOS. 1000 hertz polling rate, hot swappable options right out of the box, acoustic foam, and double shot PBT keycaps. Now, if you're looking for a low profile wireless mechanical keyboard, then this is something that I can definitely suggest. And if you're interested in learning a little more, I'll leave some links down below. You can head over to their website, that way you can get a little more information on it. You can also pick this up on Amazon, so I'll leave both of those in the description. And if you've got any questions about the K1 Max, let me know in the comments below. But that's going to wrap it up for this one. Like always, thanks for watching.